So one of the first times that we met, and probably the first, 20 times, was all to do networking events.
Yeah,
And it was one of the things, I don't know if you saw the interview I did with Matt last week,
I did. Yes.
but it was almost that one of the things that because I watch and look and learn and listen all the time. And the two people that were the best at in-person networking were you and Matt.
Right.
And it was always interesting for me to learn and see what you did and how you approached it. Obviously, Matt's really into his golf, and that was a big part of his thing. But how did you discover the power of business networking and how that impacted your career?
Well, I think obviously going back to Keith Robinson Cove, because I was present at some of the events, you could see, and it's the same, exactly the same as what you've described there. I was watching the interaction. I was watching how the room was worked. I was watching how things developed. And then because I had the other side, the sort of administrative side, to understand then about the importance of following up and then continuing those conversations outside of the room. And I think it's all about don't overthink a situation. A lot of people hate networking. I absolutely love it. I will walk into a room where I literally do not know anybody, but I don't care. And people might think that I'm a bit weird. And I do think it is maybe a bit weird. But you just speak to people and stop thinking too much into it, because don't overthink situations. I mean, that would be a huge piece of advice I'd give to people. Stop thinking about what people think about you. Stop it, because it'll undermine what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if you come over and say at a networking event, "Oh, hi," and then introduce yourself and then ask them about them and then have a conversation. And it might not be someone that you would necessarily follow up with or that wants to follow up with you, but you've still had that interaction with somebody, because you don't know what that interaction might bring. So I think really, because of my past, walking into a room for networking isn't an issue that it is to other people.
But I think it's a skill that most people don't appreciate. So it's almost how it's easy to look at someone has a degree in mechanical engineering, so therefore they're quite tech and you can understand the stuff. But I know so many technically good people that can't talk to people.
Yes.
Or I was going to say, it's because there is an element of, I know a lot of people that hate business development. They hate going to events. They feel it's forced. Because one of the big things that I now get paid to do, as I know you do, is that when you're actually doing your marketing, your promotion and stuff for other companies, it's treat them like normal people. So don't just brain dump products and services and stuff. Just ask them stuff. And it's just almost, it's having the confidence to say, actually, no, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to do this, 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 and this. And just over years, you kind of know that it works. But I guess it does take, it's a skill set, the same as being good at accountancy as it is to be able to talk to people. And again, I guess in any team, it's how you match those people together.
Totally. I mean, when we were at Evolution, we had sort of people that would be brand ambassadors, and they were happy to go out, and I would take them with me and not hold the hand, but metaphorically hold the hand and introduce them to people and try and set that path to then go on from there. But then there were and they were technical as well. But then there were others that weren't comfortable in that environment, but would bang out a set of accounts, sort of. So and it's horses for courses. Everyone can't be good at everything, because the world would be boring, wouldn't it? So I think that it is a skill, and it's a skill that can be developed, and I think it does make a difference. I mean, the other thing was, with Tees Valley Business Club, I was aware of Tees Valley Business Club because Keith Robinson had things to do with the club. And then I think that was one of the first sort of networking event forums that I went to when I was becoming the marketing manager for Evolution. And again, it's people that have faith in you. And I think there was the sign-in desk and it was really busy. And I just sort of volunteered and said, well, can I help? Because I knew some of the people coming through the door and sort of giving people, getting people to sign in and that whole process. And being on that sign-in desk, I got to know the business community. And again, to have been allowed to do that on behalf of the club before they really knew who I was again, sort of someone putting faith into you. I mean, sort of Jane Reynolds, who obviously is chair now of the business club, but wasn't at the time, and Jane Campbell and Pauline, and the people that were involved at the time, they didn't have to say, well, yes, you can help. I might have just thought, who's this weird person?